Well, hello and welcome everybody to episode 59 of Late Arrivals. We're
Hi.
almost at 60.
Yeah,
Another big milestone.
59. What is going on?
Oh, 10 more
Flappers.
is until the nice number.
Oh, yeah. We're almost at the really, really nice number.
Shout out Chase DeLeo.
Say we'll have to celebrate the 69th episode, and I put it in the calendar last year, but we never did a 420 celebration. I think it was just because we were happy the duck season was over.
Probably, honestly.
Well, we have a ton to cover. This is going to be a different episode. It's been a while since we've had a guest on. That'll be later in the episode. First half of this recording is us recording on Wednesday night, and the second half will be Thursday. And you'll probably be listening to this on Friday. So,
Yeah. Friday release. If you didn't know, if you didn't see on our socials, we are having Billy Zegras on.
That's
So that'd be
Trevor's
pretty
brother,
cool.
if you didn't know.
Pretty sure it's his cousin.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's his pretty sure it's his cousin, but
Oh, it's his cousin?
yeah.
I thought it was his brother. Well, that's
No, it's
embarrassing.
It's all right. It's all right.
Might want to
Lou's
cut
not
that
even going to be
out.
on for it anyway, so he can he can just say things in dip, so he's fine.
Starting off hot. But yes, as Chris has alluded to, we have Billy Zegras on later in the episode. I hate to break it to you guys, but he does not have any insider knowledge. So if you're coming with the assumption that we're going to get the workings of this summer and the contract stuff, I am sorry to say that is not the case. We've been talking to Billy since what, June, July?
Holy, something
Been a
like
long
that.
time.
He originally was going to be a summer guest before we took our little break, but just out of not so much an air of caution, but with the long time it took for Z to sign and stuff, he didn't want to put Trevor in a weird situation by going on a Ducks affiliated podcast and causing a whole bunch of questions and hoopla, and we respect that. We obviously weren't trying to get him to do that, just because it does kind of put him in an awkward situation. But we're happy to have him on, so we hope that you guys stick around for the latter half of this episode. But we do have a lot of Duck stuff to talk about.
We do.
Before we start though, I just wanted to thank everyone for their continued support. We just reached 1,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter, last night.
He said X.
I said X. Yeah. Yeah, but we just reached 1,000 followers last night, so we just wanted to say thank you. Really appreciate it.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy number to look at, but yeah, thank you all for the support, and it's been a crazy year and like 4 months or however long it's been.
It's been a long time.
It's been fun. Yeah, I feel like we've been doing this a lot longer, but
that's just the stress of doing this. Well, speaking of stress, I feel like last week was kind of the honeymoon phase of the week. I can say maybe it was because I was sick pretty much all weekend. But this was I wouldn't say a stressful week of Ducks hockey, but it has definitely been the week of narratives and stuff. And
oh yeah,
it's very annoying. But before we get into any of that, what the last game we talked about was the Ducks and the Stars, correct?
Yes.
So Ducks Coyotes, they got goalied that game. I mean, I feel like it's been said 100 times from 100 different people. The fact that we can still be happy after losses, just because they're playing just out of their mind and just not getting the bounces, it's a weird feeling. But that was one of those games where Vizhmelka just played insane. I felt like every
And they
time
took way too many penalties once again. That'll be
know.
another theme.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the episode too.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much you can do. It seemed like it was a fun game. I listened to most of it on TuneIn. Emerson and Dan had a great time. I'm surprised
awesome.
the broadcast has been really good on the radio.
I love having Edom on there. Like he's a lot of fun.
It feels nice and loose. Like it's not like they're not taking themselves too seriously, but they're also still providing pretty good insight. Like
yeah,
it's a win-win. So
Top line dominated. Although they didn't score, but they sure look pretty good.
But yeah, 2-1 loss. I missed most of it. I got home from work. I was able to watch like the final, I think it was like 14 minutes maybe of the third period. And thankfully, I didn't see any of the Coyotes goals. I only saw the Ducks goal. So it worked out. So in my world, they won 1-0, but that doesn't count. So
with the lone goal in the game being Frank Vetrano's goal, Jakob Silverberg ties Ricard Raquel for 8th all-time in assists in Ducks history.
I thought it was 7th.
I thought he tied. I thought it said it tied for 8th.
Oh,
Maybe he hopped into 7th. I don't know.
pretty sure
either
tied for
or.
8th. Yeah. Pretty cool.
But that led into Sunday's game against the Bruins, which was kind of another one of those games where just penalties and more penalties. They go down 1-0, they tie it, and then just kind of the wheels fell off at the end. But I mean, playing as well as they've done, having to play 2 undefeated teams.
They've played
Dallas
a lot
has
of good
lost
teams.
1 game, and I mean 2 kind of up and coming teams in like Arizona and
doesn't
Columbus.
look bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Hurricanes, they're kind of off to a weird start, but yeah, they're a top team in the league.
They're kind of
And-
injured, right?
A tad bit. They've been struggling in goal though. They've given up a ton of goals. But yeah, I thought it was kind of a slower game, but that Ducks Bruins game was probably the first time I was actually frustrated with a loss. Because I really thought they could have beaten the Bruins. Like that 3-1 score, if you didn't watch the game, you'd think that the Bruins took the lead and then held the lead and kind of controlled the game, and that's just not what happened. Like the Ducks played awesome, I thought. And
Pavel Minchkov had a monster game, I thought.
yeah.
And
He's
the
just
fancy
had a-
stats back it up.
he's just had a monster start in general. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that towards the end when our 3 stars return, because I
still don't know. Is it
that was a
Minchkov or
thing.
Minchukov? I think it's Minchkov, right?
I mean, I say Minchkov, but we all know that Allers says what
Yeah, John Ellis says like
Mintukov
Mintukov or something. I don't know.
I don't know. That's why we need Connor back on to correct us for
Yeah.
maybe like the 17th time, and I can maybe write it down in a proper way so I don't forget.
Yeah, eventually
but,
I'll write it down and just try to memorize it. But
but yeah, I thought they in that game they definitely passed up too many opportunities to shoot the damn puck. I mean, they had a decent amount of shots, but they definitely could have had more. I don't know. In my notes, I put that there was too much sauce, not enough shot. Because they were just, I don't know, there were just a ton of opportunities where they had a clean look at the goal, and they just, I'll just do one more pass, and then they lose possession of it or whatever happened. But I don't know. Gudis again was doing his thing,
Slaying people out.
Yeah, I think it was it Garrett on Twitter? I believe he tweeted because I posted a clip of the hit from Gudis from our pal Hockey Daily 365, and I'm pretty sure Garrett put called Gudis the assassin because I tweeted that Gudis is always ready to destroy you with his ass. So I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that. The assassin. Thank you for that, Garrett.
Comment wear it, as we would say.
Yeah.
So after the Boston game, we unfortunately did get Jamie Drysdale on the injured reserve, which I mean, I don't think they've really specified what the injury is, but
It was
lower body,
retroactive to
right?
whatever
yeah.
they.
I mean, the fact that he was around everybody at Face Off Fest and he seems to still be around the team tells me it's probably something
I don't
nagging.
know if he made the trip though.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I would say that the Robert Hag call up probably
Yeah.
is a sign that
Tristan Leno's probably going back to the queue.
and they just need the spot filled with
Yeah.
Drysdale out, which isn't terrible. I mean, Vakanainen slotting back in, he didn't really look out of place last night. Granted, I only kind of saw clips here and there, but you know, it's just kind of a weird situation. I mean, we probably won't know until he goes back to practice, but I mean, that's going to be at least until the next week, seeing as we're on the road for the next 3 still. But that leads us into the bigger narrative of Leo Carlsson being scratched. And the story, you know, coming straight from the beak. Pretty much if you haven't heard, which I would be shocked because it is definitely quite the topic in Ducks fandom right now, especially on Twitter. The plan with Leo is he's going to play 2 games a week, but also still be around the team for strength conditioning, for practice. I would assume if we were to guess, he's either going to play Boston, Philly, or sit out the Boston game tomorrow and then play in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. If not, you know, maybe they give him a day's rest and he plays Boston, Pittsburgh. Who knows? But the whole goal is just to kind of ease him into stuff. You know, Pat said a few times that he's played a lot of hockey. And I think that's the one thing that is kind of lost in all of this is everyone always also points at, well, yeah, Bedard played a lot of hockey, Fantilli played a lot of hockey. You know, a lot of guys that are in the league currently after being drafted played a lot too. So what makes this special? And I think a lot of what's being lost is the fact that, yeah, Leo's played against grown men, but the ice is different. You know, adjusting to smaller ice definitely is a real concern just because I know, I mean, I hate to say that drawing comparisons to playing adult league, but you know, when you have to play on the fucking Olympic sheet, the game certainly is spread out a little bit more. And I can only imagine that the pace of play over there not being what the American game is certainly could be kind of a weird gray area for the team. I mean, it's not to say he's looked out of place at all. I think that's kind of the annoying thing. Is everybody wants to see him play and he should be playing. I mean, if it was up to me, I personally wouldn't want him to be doing this, you know, sit out every couple game thing. But I mean, it's hard to argue when it's coming from Verbeek. It's not just, oh, hey, yeah, he's not playing and we're not hearing anything. Like, we've been told that it was a possibility and now it's reality. It's just kind of what it is.
And it's just for the first half of the season, at least.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be for the first 2 months and then they're going to kind of, they're going to kind of reevaluate, see where he's at, seeing how he's doing. Personally, I don't really think we can judge too much. I mean, it sucks. You know, obviously people are paying money to go, you know, see the team play with the hope of seeing him play. You know, that comes with having such a high profile draft pick. You know, people are going to want to go and see them in action. It's out of our hands. Like, it sucks and I understand. Trust me, I wish he was healthy and I saw him opening night. Like, It's just what it is. The good thing, though, I think the thing that's going to help him the most with all of this is that extra rest means that he's going to go into games hungry. I don't think he wants to sit out. I mean, yeah, the plan was agreed upon by him, his agent, and the team. But you know what? Young kid's going to be like, oh, yeah, like it's cool. I'm sitting out. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, he wants to be out there and he wants to play, but he understands that it's with his best interests in mind. It's not to be like, okay, we're really handling you with care and we don't want to mess you up. We don't want to fuck you up. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain and be okay with because, I feel he's capable and ready to play all 82. Well, the rest of the season, if that was the case. Like, if he were to stay healthy, I'd want to see him play every game. But it's just kind of what we're working with here.
Yeah, and it does suck. But it's kind of hard to argue when it's not just like, oh, this is a Pat Verbeek thing. Like, knowing that it's Verbeek and his agent and Leo, we're all involved in this, had a full conversation on it, got this plan all, laid out and everything. So it's kind of hard to argue. Doesn't mean it doesn't suck. I really wish that he played against the Blue Jackets. Just because I wanted to see Carlson Fantilli. I mean, everyone did. I mean, that would have been cool. Especially it made it a little worse because Fantilli scored. He scored on us, but what can you do?
Well, it's a weird situation too, and the opposing fan base is also like confused and upset about it. Like, wait, well, we're being denied this? Like, and I think that's the other thing in this situation is like there's a lot of outsiders to it that just don't understand. And I think part of it comes down to this market not getting the attention it should get. Not to say I feel like we need to be in the news every waking second, but to the like the outside person that doesn't know kind of like the groundwork that Verbeek's laid, especially in the last year of like, I'm going to do things my way and I don't care what people think. I think it's very confusing because people are like, well, wouldn't you want to play, your 18-year-old kid that's out there dominating and in his, his very first season, his very first games. Like, I could see how that would confuse a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I go back to like, okay, like it's dumb. I don't agree with it, but it's for a reason. It's not just, hey, we're gonna do this just because we know we're gonna be bad and we can. Because clearly they've shown glimpses of being a good team. I guess we can transition into the game from last night. The complete 180 that they did to kind of come back in that game and pull out a win in the end. Like, Cronin even said that he liked the effort and the determination that the guys showed. They didn't give up. And he admitted like, oh, we played like shit in the first. Like, this team is more than capable to win. And I think it's going to be a very rough and green season of just like, they're probably going to lose some games like they played last night. And it's going to be like, shit, like they deserve better if they played better. But like I said earlier, like we've played some of the top contending teams in the league already, and we're able to hang. Where last year, those games would have been, games to catch up on sleep. Games you don't stay up for because it's just like, oh shit, we're playing Boston, like we're gonna get steamrolled.
Yeah, all of those like 6-2, 7-4 losses that we were dealing with.
Yeah, and you're getting like your last goal or two in like the last 30 seconds of the game when like it pinballs off of 4 different people and hits like Max Jones in the head and goes in. Like they're playing close games and they're just not getting the bounces in games they deserve a little bit better fate. Like, they're not going to win them all. We got to point back to our shirt of you can't lose them all either. But, like,
I thought last night's game was their first really meh game overall. I mean, it looked okay, but
it was kind of meh.
It's a very dull game.
Yeah, and that's the one they end up winning, which I thought was funny.
It was
And they
more of
did
the
it
same
with-
story.
And but they came back without one of their best players.
Yeah. So many penalties again, though. My God.
I called it at work. I told the guys, I was like, okay, how many do you think they're gonna get? I say 7. And they got 7. So,
I don't
really need
I
don't
hate
know
to
the-
be right, but
yeah. I don't know the
David-
total. What, Lou?
I said they just really need to clean that up.
They do, yeah.
That's the biggest irk I have so far.
I mean, the officiating was pretty bad last night.
Yeah,
but
it was pretty bad.
I'm not
but
one to
still.
put like blame like on the refs for like losses, or I mean we didn't lose, but I mean for games like that, but that was rough. Like there were a lot of missed calls, and then there were a lot of iffy calls. It's just like, how are you going to call that when this dude over here just got like his arm taken off by a stick? Like he just got hacked. So it was very rough. I don't know, that it was nice that they won. Vetrano with the OT winner was pretty sick. That pass by who was the pass by?
Group.
Gru.
Gru.
Yeah, that
Bo
that
Gru.
was a sick pass. That was so nice.
Boguru's been kind of good so far.
He's been pretty sneaky. Like he's not like,
nobody's really talking about that.
yeah, he doesn't like stand out, but he does what he needs to do. He's been pretty decent.
And I think you need a guy like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're being honest, Lundestrom in that role's always kind of flown under the radar.
True.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
that's
kind of
true.
has had some up and down fluctuations, but I mean, I'd say the bottom 6 as a whole has just been
Mhm.
kind of sneaky. I mean, we joked about Ross Johnston kind of being just the tough, punchy man out there, but like,
Yeah.
But in his limited time on ice, I mean, he hasn't been bad.
And
And I
Leeson's been
mean,
fun.
Leeson's looking good. I mean, we haven't really seen
Connie
much out
McDavid?
of. We haven't seen much out of like Jones or Silverberg, but I don't think their presence hasn't been. It's not like they're not being seen out there. I mean, Cronin had great praise for some of the veteran guys because he was talking about the penalty troubles, and he's like, when you're having to go out there and spend almost a whole period of hockey on the penalty kill. He's like, but these guys are going out there shift after shift and just eating pucks and making kills. He was like, you can't ask any more out of those guys. And I don't know about you guys, but it definitely seems like this is more of a team
Mhm.
than we've seen.
Yeah.
You know, they're fighting a little bit harder to win puck battles. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Lou. Like Minchikov has just looked completely NHL ready out there. Like it's crazy to think he's 19.
Incoming Calder winner, Evelminchka.
But like, I don't know. It's like you have the rookies are contributing. The rookies are really impressing. You know, the younger guys are holding their own. Like your McTavishes. I mean, the bounces aren't going Zegras' way yet, but he's looked phenomenal on both sides of the puck outside of last night's game, and we'll get to that in a sec. But like you have those guys that aren't the flashy ones out there. Your fourth line guys like Carrick's look very serviceable. I mean, Leeson's look good. It just feels more complete.
Mhm.
Obviously there's a step ahead and there's some pieces missing. This team's going to look different when Alex Killorn's in the lineup. If they don't slot Lundestrom in right
We
away.
haven't talked about Brock McGinn. He's still injured.
Yeah, McGinn's injured too. And the D's kind of taking shape, and with Drysdale out, we're probably still going to see some fluctuation. I would think Haig's probably going to go down when Drysdale's back, but like things are kind of getting into like their final form. I would say I wouldn't see anything crazy happening unless the rails were to really fall off, or unless Zellweger's really just killing it in San Diego. He's really the only piece I see kind of being like one that would really shake anything up with this team. And
Yeah.
it's kind of good to have that problem, because the last 2 years were just a lot of, okay, well, if we get to this point of the season, maybe we see some of the kids, or maybe we're seeing less of Derek Grant, maybe we're seeing less of so and so. Like, it's nice to be like, okay, well, these guys are at least playing well enough that like they're going to be probably every night regulars, but at the same time, like they're there for a reason still. Like it's because Cronin believes in them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't hate that.
Yeah. And there was some point during the Ducks Blue Jackets game where it was announced that the Ducks have taken like 30 penalties already. And it wasn't the end of the game, so I can't remember how many more were called after that. But I mean, they're like, 6 games in and they already have 30 penalties. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't have to talk too much about that because I mean, with time, hopefully it gets better. But I definitely share that sentiment with Lou. It's a little ridiculous, like seeing every 5 seconds that we're back on the penalty kill. And yeah, last night's the one like really bad, like, okay, the refs kind of had it out for us kind of night. I mean, say what you will, but like all the other games, like you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, just constantly having.
I think
a
the
guy in the
style that Greg
box.
Cronin is implementing is gonna lead them to maybe commit those penalties.
Some of them for sure, but I feel like lately a lot of them have just been like guys getting beat and being caught like flat-footed, and they're just like tugging, they're hooking, and they're just like
Tugging.
last resort type of thing, and they're just kind of doing something stupid.
Yeah. And I mean, Cronin's mentioned that. I think it was after the Boston game. He said, when you're having to panic because you're getting beat on a play and taking a penalty, like you can't really complain with, you can't say that, anyone's at fault but yourself because, you got beat on the play and you're trying to make up for it by, slowing the guy down. But I mean, I guess while we're talking about Cronin, we can talk about Zegras not playing the
He
last
benched Trevor Zegras.
25 minutes of the game, I think was
something
what
like
was
that.
I think it
said.
was midway through the second period.
Something like that.
On the power play.
I mean, I know
over Felix at over Crash the Pond, he made a video talking about what he thought what got Trevor Zegras benched.
And that's on the Crash the Pond YouTube.
Yep. Go follow, subscribe there.
But yeah, he did, Zegras had a rough game for sure. Too many turnovers, some ugly turnovers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was.
Yeah, when he turned the puck over, he was kind of slow in getting back into the play. He was like kind of way too slow getting back into the play, and I don't think Greg Cronin liked that very much.
Yeah, which is nice that he's sticking to his guns on how he wants players to perform, no matter what your name is, and what role you have on the team. But
I personally wouldn't have done that, but I understand why he did it.
Maybe for a shift or two, but a whole period, especially when your team is.
That seems a little extreme when you're losing.
But if you're going to do that, stick to your guns and just do it the entire game.
Yeah, and but I also want to see it for other players, not just Zegras, because we've had that over the last few years when we had Akins.
Yeah, we need to.
Zegras was
it just sucks because it happened to Trevor Zegras, who's got benched by Dallas Akins for stupid reasons.
I just feel like he gets singled out for certain things, and maybe
like
other players.
Mason McTavish should probably, if he keeps committing penalties, he should receive that treatment.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it, it was said a lot today. I know Connor had a thread about it on Twitter. If you're gonna do it to the guy that is, gonna cause the most uproar like that. I see why it would be Zegras, and it happened to be because he was having a pretty shitty game.
Yeah.
But I do also share the sentiment of if it's gonna be like that, it has to be everybody. Because like you said, like McTavish has kind of had a rough go. Like that line looks really good, but he's in the box 2-3 times a game.
Yeah.
So
Max
if you're
Jones
gonna
get benched,
if you're gonna hold your young guys to that precedent and make an example out of them, it has to not just be one guy. To me, I mean, you would think that I wouldn't say he's, Cronin's doing it to see what he can get away with. But I think it's kind of a shot across the bow of like, okay, all of you have to understand like this shit isn't gonna fly. Like
he's trying
if
to
you're
build
gonna play, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
And you need to play 100%.
He's trying to set a standard to a new team that needs a new standard.
Exactly.
And if you're not gonna play up to that standard, this is what's gonna happen.
So I mean, it's a little hard ass and it's a little extreme 6 games in, but hey, if that's the wake up call you need to get everybody back on the same page and tell them like, hey, like shit's not gonna fly. Fucking listen.
Yeah. So after that, now I'm very interested to see how Zegras looks Thursday, tomorrow, against the Bruins. When you're listening to this, it'll be Friday, so that game will be. You'll know the result of that game already, but we'll see how he comes out and plays. Because I mean, before the Blue Jackets game, he was playing some really good hockey. The stats weren't there, the goals, the assists, points aren't there yet, but he has looked.
He didn't even have a bad game. I mean, it wasn't great, but he still wasn't playing bad yesterday either.
Yeah, I mean, like aside from like the turnovers and stuff, I mean, it's just he's looked like a completely different player, and that's not like saying he hasn't been good, because he's definitely been good, but his like defense, you can tell, has already changed.
Yeah.
He's already doing pretty good work on that.
His board work is.
He's definitely gotten stronger, I feel like, too, on the puck. He was a little easier to bump off the puck. Strong. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how he responds in Boston.
And the rest of the weekend too. I mean,
yeah.
We'll get the long-awaited John Tortorella game in Philly.
Oh, and if you're gonna bench someone, do it now, instead of like late in the season. I'd rather them do it now and do it like on a pivotal March game, like benching someone.
Well, and like you said, it set the standard for a team that didn't have a standard. That was a very good way of explaining it, because I always hate repeating myself, but it always comes up again, just because they played a lot of lifeless hockey the last couple seasons, and it's just like you have to do that to a team that just kind of was going through the motions. And again, it sucks. It has to be someone as high profile as Zegras, because he already gets as much attention as he does. But it's necessary, and especially in a year where they're pushing, this is when we're going to develop a culture. You got to start early. Because you're never going to develop that if you're just kind of going through the motions still and like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you guys aren't used to my coaching style. You're not used to the way I'm making you guys play together. Like, tell them early, just like, again, the shit's not going to fly. Do it my way, or this is what's going to happen.
I like how Lou said pivotal March game as well. So Lap Lou has the Ducks.
No, I was just saying in general, if you're going to
no, I know.
If you're gonna do it early in the season where like it's not gonna matter much if you're like, because they were down 1-0 when he did that.
Was it 1-0 or 2-1?
It was.
I don't think Fantilli had scored yet.
It was 1-1, but then it was 2-1. Okay. So, but they still didn't have him out there.
Okay.
So you're doing a disservice to your team by not having him out there. But I don't know.
Well said, Lou.
We'll see. We'll see how he responds. Didn't he play at Boston? See?
For like a year, yeah.
Yeah, so
I like how John Allers always tries to make it seem like he's like a Boston kid, but he's like actually from New York. And
well, it's definitely a homecoming for Greg Cronin tomorrow.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's excited for that one.
Hopefully this is the Cronin revenge game.
Does he have Bruins ties or no?
I think it's just he's from Boston.
Oh,
I know they said that it was probably going to be a game that he was looking forward to when they came to Honda Center, just because he interviewed for the Bruins job.
Oh, did he?
But I mean, you have ties to the city. I'd say inherently, like people are gonna.
I thought he might have also had ties with the Bruins, but I guess not.
Professionally, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's just he's from Boston.
Shout out, Greg.
Before we get into 3 stars, I will have to say that like a lot of things that the Ducks have done in the season, whether it's the weird inside jokes on Instagram. I want to understand why the hunting jacket that they pass around the room now has Smash Mouth on the back.
Yeah, Smash Mouth.
Are they trying to like shoehorn because the Creed mania that's going around? Are they trying to do that with Smash Mouth?
I think it's just Smash Mouth hockey, maybe.
It's like a hunting jacket.
Yeah, it was a hunting jacket, and it has like all the flags, I think, of the different countries the guys are from, which is pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool jacket. Yeah.
We need to ask Tyler to tweet an actual picture of it if he can.
We need insider info on what's going on there.
I mean, we'll hound him like we usually do.
They tweeted a lot of cool stuff today. Did you see the video of the reaction of the bench?
Like, yeah,
from their point of view.
Yeah, that was cool. And then the locker room.
The locker room.
All of them dropping F-bombs in the locker room.
Yeah.
There was someone on Instagram that commented on the video of them giving Leeson the jacket. And I was like, can you post the uncensored version somewhere? And it just said, nope.
Nope.
The smiley face.
Yeah, I saw that. Nope.
Okay. I forgot last week, like I said at the beginning of the episode, but thing we used to do in our episodes, 3 stars of the week. I feel like this is a little bit better than maybe that first episode since we didn't have too much to talk about, but
yeah,
we did poll a lot of, I wouldn't say we polled on Twitter, but we did ask you guys what you thought 3 stars were in your opinion. We did get a lot of what I think we agreed on. Nick said Carlson when he played, Minchikov and Gudis. Dalton said Vetrano, Minchikov, and McTavish. And then we also got Vetrano, Carrick, and Vetrano. I believe the list we agreed to or loosely agreed to.
Did I agree to anything? I don't remember agreeing to anything.
You sure did, Lou.
I don't think I did. Well, I have a 3-star list if you want to hear it.
Yeah, if you want to give yours first, I mean, we could go around. Go around the table.
It's easy. 3rd star, Pavel Minchikov. 2nd star, Pavel Minchikov. 1st star, Pavel Minchikov.
All right.
All aboard the Pavel Minchikov train. Choo choo.
So the list I put together was with 2 wins already on the season. Our only 2 wins was Lukas Dostal. 2nd star, as
is it
Lou
Lucas
mentioned,
or Lukash?
I've been told it's Lukash. Like you pronounce it Lukash, but
Lukash.
You add the at the end of his name.
That is how I was told to pronounce it. By one of my friends I know from the Ice Crew because she is from the Czech Republic. So.
Lukash.
Oh.
2nd star, I had Minchikov because he's been a dog.
He's a dog. He's definitely got that dog in him.
Very good. And then everybody's favorite Italian as our 1st star, Frank Vetrano. 5 goals, 1 assist in 6 games played. I mean, he's off to a great start and the OT winner last night.
Yep. Frankie V, Frank the Tank, whatever you want to call him.
Oh, my cat is saying hi. Sorry.
I didn't know what that was at first going across your screen.
She is going after a fly at the moment, so I'm gonna have to move her off the desk.
Do work. Do work. Get that fly.
Who are your 3 stars, Chris?
I agreed to that, honestly. Like that was exactly what I was gonna say. So Frankie V definitely being number 1 though. He's been killing it. We love our little Italian man.
You know, he was one of those, I think, one of those signings last summer where everyone was like, oh, he'll be good for some goals here or there. Him and Strome both. But I mean, let's give credit to the 2 of them. That whole line with McTavish, being the little wrecking ball he's been, they've arguably been the Ducks' best line. And I mean, the fact that both of them are getting the bounces, where I think last year they both were kind of hot and cold at times. Already looking like pretty good signings for Pat's first kind of go around, if we forget John Klingberg. But Meredith, you gotta stop jumping up here, sweetheart.
Notable mention for a star. How about John Gibson? He hasn't been bad. He's been bad.
He's been pretty solid.
Yeah. Shout out Gibby.
But the thing is that I feel like he's always like that, at least from what I can remember in the beginning. It's just that he was always running to the ground, and now hopefully with Dostal kind of splitting with him.
Every game it's been Gibby, Lucas, Gibby, Lucas.
Yeah, so hopefully
he keeps it like that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's played pretty well. I've liked what I've seen from both goalies.
Yeah.
And since we've turned
doing a lame duck.
I was gonna say, since we turned a new leaf here, and we're not just going with the scapegoat picks like last year. Say we hold off on doing a lame duck for the first real week back.
Well, if we were going to do that, I would say the entire team for taking too many damn penalties. Knock it off, please. Thank you.
That's a good compromise. We'll go with that, Lou.
Yeah.
I think we've been waiting to say this all week. Well, I shouldn't say all week, but for a couple days here.
If they don't stay out of the box, Grandma doesn't get let out of the cage.
That's not what I meant when I said we've been waiting to say something.
What were you gonna say?
We do have a new little segment and a little partnership to.
You
wanna go ahead, Chris?
Yeah, so we have a little segment. We kind of have always done this where we look ahead to the Ducks schedule for the next few games that we know that are going to happen before we record again. But yeah, we have teamed up with Noble Aleworks in Anaheim, California. I'm sure a lot of Ducks fans know about Noble. It's a very hot spot for pregame stuff, and they have a lot of fun over there. So our new segment is What's on Tap, brought to you by Noble Aleworks. But we kind of have a whole deal with them that maybe, down the line here, we can maybe have some watch parties. Game days, you could possibly get discounts on your drinks. And hopefully very soon at Noble, you'll see some LAP flavor there, because we're hoping that, we're going to send them some stuff.
Get a taste of lap at Noble, baby.
So you can enjoy your drink, and you might see some.
What kind of beer they have?
They have some delicious beer.
I've never been there, but I've
actually,
heard of it.
Pull it up, because I was going to talk about this one beer that I want to try, because I'm a big Mexican lager guy, and Jake agrees.
Beachside Bandito?
Yes, sir. That's the one. It sounds delicious. Like, I need to get my hands on that one. I know that they had, I'm not a stout guy. Like, I can't do stouts. I mean, I feel like I'm going to die, but they have one that's, what is it called? Like cinnamon roast crunch.
It was something like that, yeah.
And it sounds like if someone got it and they allowed me to take a little sip, I would, just to try it, just because of the name. Like, I feel like I have to try that. But yeah, Noble Aleworks.
We're
working with them.
They have two beers called Man's Milk.
Yep, they got Man's Milk. Lou brought that up.
They have Man's Milk.
When we were talking to Josh over at Noble, Lou brought that up right before he got on the call about Man's Milk. So that definitely has Lou's attention.
Rick's Pickle Punch.
Yeah, but yeah, if you go to Noble, tell them
the Lap Boys sent you.
Yeah, tell them the Lap Boys sent you.
And do we tease what the flavor might be that they might see at Noble, or do we wait until that's maybe physical?
Maybe just tell them.
Well, we were asked, we're gonna have kind of our stuff, our socials running on the video boards. I have to get that all done this week at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing is we were kind of pushed to do something. And it was Josh asked us if we would get a flag made. Just, could be something as simple as our logo. But I took it a step further, and I'm glad I did, because I did a graphic design and I'm very happy with it. It does not look like shit. But it is essentially the Sammy the Seal logo, the mighty Seal logo we have put on t-shirts and stuff. But in the style of the California state flag.
Yes.
And it looks, I mean, I hate to toot my own horn, but it looks incredible. So at some point in the near future, there will be a lap flag at Noble.
Yeah.
So we'll
need pictures.
We're racing to be the first to get it done, because Josh said that it's been something he's asked and no one's gone through. So as always,
I definitely want to get stickers of the design that we're thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm glad you said that, because at the moment I'm working on putting that in the spring store.
Oh yeah, baby, let's go.
There will be 2 variations. One that says Lap Republic, and then one that says just late arrivals. The one that is going to be at the brewery itself is going to say late arrivals Republic on it, but we're very excited for that.
It looks so good.
It looks so hot.
Yeah.
It just looks hot. It doesn't look good. It looks hot.
When we post this episode on Friday, I will post the pictures. So you guys will have to wait a little bit if you're listening, to the stream right now, watching the stream. You will have to wait till Friday. I'm sorry, but when the episode's out, then we'll show.
Yeah. And like Jake brought up that they have like 3 screens apparently that they put like ads on. And I think Josh said they roll out like it'll change every like 15 seconds or something, 15, 20 seconds. So on those screens, you will also see our logo popping up every once in a while. So that'll be cool. So if you're ever there and you see some stuff, take pictures, send them to us, tag us, and show us.
Connor and wave at him.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be really cool. And hopefully down the line here, like I said, we get some watch parties going. Even if it's nothing crazy and big, just a nice little gathering spot, maybe even before a home game, if it's not like a watch party during a Ducks road game or something. Just fun little spot that we can hang out. I believe they have free parking for games.
I was going to mention that. Josh said that they have free parking
and a 5-minute walk from Honda Center.
5-minute walk.
We know it's a spot for some of our friends. So if that comes the new hang, I'm gonna try and get down there every so often, because I don't get to go to a lot of games. So might be something that we do kind of frequently here, but as always, we always say exciting times in Lapland.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very fun call with Josh. So thanks to him for reaching out to us and taking the call and getting this all sorted. But so yeah, what's on tap? Brought to you by Noble Aleworks.
So tomorrow being Thursday, we have Ducks Bruins in Boston, followed by Ducks Flyers, and then Ducks Penguins. How are we feeling? Personally, I feel they have a good shot to win both the Philadelphia and the Pittsburgh game.
I do feel good about those ones.
Boston, I feel, is going to be maybe another close affair. I hope the Zegras benching is kind of a little bit of a wake-up call for the guys to kind of get their shit in line.
Yes.
And I hope it's kind of the game where Trevor breaks out, because he's not getting the results, but he's still playing great. So to be rewarded and kind of get him going would be a nice sign.
Sure would.
So for the Boston game, I'm still gonna say Boston wins. I'm gonna go 4-3.
4-3. Okay.
I'll go 3-2 Boston.
I'll go
in overtime.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say 4-3. That seems reasonable. Bruins.
Okay. Ducks Flyers. I say they win that game, and you know what? I'll say they win it pretty handedly. I'll say they win 4-2.
I'm also 4-2 Ducks.
I'm gonna say Ducks win. I'm gonna say 4-1.
Okay, and then
the
Ducks
Penguins.
Penguins. I say that one's going to be a little bit of a close one, but I still feel like the Ducks can pull it out. In recent memory, Gibson's played a little bit better in Pittsburgh, and I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be his start.
Yeah, probably.
Well, let's see. Tomorrow would probably be Gibby, and then Philadelphia probably be Lukash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll probably be Gibby if they keep going back and forth.
I'm going to say 3-2 Ducks.
Okay.
I'll go 2-1 Ducks.
2-1 Ducks. I'm gonna go also 3-2. I'm gonna say that one's in overtime though. 3-2 Ducks OT.
Spicy.
Spicy spice.
Well, that'll bring us into our ads here. As always, if you guys don't have ESPN Plus already, you can go to insidetherink.com/ESPN and sign up today. It helps not only us, but our network. I know the RTR pages were busy yesterday with the Frozen Frenzy going on.
Jeez, yeah, that was crazy.
We'll talk about all that chaos in a sec. But if you don't have it, the Ducks games are still getting, or I shouldn't say the Ducks games, but the local games are still getting blacked out for whatever reason. But the NHL power play has been just amazing over there. Kind of catching games as they end has been nice after I'm getting off of work, or being able to watch a game while doing stuff at work. Certainly helps the time pass by. If you don't have ESPN already, signing up gets you ESPN Plus. And it's not only hockey. I mean, they pretty much have any sport you can think of. I know anytime you go on the featured tab, there's like at least 8 or 9 things all rolling at the same time, whether it's college sports, professional. I know basketball coming back. There's going to be a lot of basketball on there.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball season's ending, but I know they've had a couple of the games, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I've seen like 1 or 2 on there. So again, insidetherink.com/ESPN.
Do it. But we've also partnered with 714 Tickets to get you, our fans, deals on tickets for any event you plan on attending. Use code LAP, that's in all caps, LAP at checkout for 10% off your order and 5% towards any future orders with 714. Ducks aren't home for a little bit here, but if you're a Ducks fan, maybe in Boston or Philly or Pittsburgh or any of those surrounding areas, and you want to grab tickets, you can use 714 still. It's not just a California thing or anything like that, or any hockey game really for that matter. You can grab tickets using 714 with our code 10% off LAP. And again, it doesn't have to be just hockey. NBA is starting back up, so if you want to grab some,
go see the Lakers and Clippers. I don't know why you would, but
but yeah,
Go
basketball's is starting up. Hey, if you want to save that little 10% on World Series tickets, go ahead and do that. I know World Series tickets are going to be super expensive, so 10% might not make that much of a difference, but hey, it's still.
If you want to take the trip out to Arizona,
yeah, come out to Phoenix, check out the World Series.
I think
Go Snakes. Go
I
Snakes.
think they'll be there game 3 through 5.
Is it?
Yeah, it's usually like 3.
It's 2,
next
3,
3 games.
2, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Snakes alive. Snakes alive. But yeah, LAP, all caps, 10% off, 714tickets.com. Go see some live events in your city. And then
Hey,
the
Lou,
last one.
You want to talk about Cream?
Go ahead, Lou. Lou,
Yes.
did you want to do the
Oh,
shift
I
one?
whispered cream. I don't know if you heard me.
Oh no, I didn't.
No, neither of us did.
Oh,
You're just sitting there.
I whispered cream in a creepy way.
Oh, okay. Did you want to do the shift one or no?
I don't have it in front of me.
Just do it,
All right.
Chris.
All right. Well,
I know the
our
promo
our
code
buddies
is lap 10.
lap 10, yeah. Our buddies over at shifthockey.com have all of your hockey sticks and gloves and hockey apparel and hoodies, t-shirts, dad hats. They got a lot of good stuff over there. Lap 10, LAP, all caps, and then the number 10 at checkout will get you 10% off your order. It's good on everything from apparel to sticks and gloves, like I said. It cannot be stacked with other existing discounts, however, but they do have some very nice hockey sticks if your league is just getting started, or you're looking for maybe to branch out in the hockey world and get a different stick from what you currently are using. Please go check out shifthockey.com. They have a lot of cool stuff. Lou loves all the cream, as he tried to whisper into his mic about cream earlier.
You didn't hear that?
I did not hear it.
But
lap 10, all caps, LAP,
lap 10,
number 10,
cream.
10% off. Go check them out. Shifthockey.com. Go grab some stuff and show us what you get.
Just show us your cream stick.
Show us the cream.
They're really gonna listen to these ads and be like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys? Well, to transition from the fun week we've had, we get to point and laugh at all of Alberta. We are 2 weeks in, and it is Mick over in Edmonton because Connor McDavid is out.
I said that as soon as Felix came in.
Mick over.
The Oilers are just a mess right now. Do I feel bad? Not really. It sucks.
What can you do?
Obviously you don't want McDavid to be hurt long term
No.
because players like him and Matthews.
They can't be happy that they're missing he's gonna miss that outdoor game.
They're gonna be missing the dollars there. The uniform purists out there that have McDavid Heritage Classic jerseys are gonna draw the ire of people that are like, you didn't play in that one, you can't get his name on it. But it sucks, obviously, all the best to Connor. Hope he heals well. And I mean, if McDavid has proved anything, that he's not real and superhuman. So just means he'll come back and just casually have like 200 points at the end of the year, just because he's McDavid.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, we also get to point and laugh at the Flames because they're kind of a disorganized mess. And Nikita Zadorov has gotten a lot of flack in his career for kind of just being a guy that goes out there and hurts people. But I will say he has some balls. He's not afraid to speak his mind in the media. And I don't know if you guys saw the clip talking about just kind of the team's play. He just kind of absolutely ripped them and said it's a bunch of individuals all playing out there, which, for a team that was looking like a pretty solid contender year in, year out, things have quickly fallen apart in Calgary.
Very fast.
And it's just weird, obviously having Sutter there, who was also kind of Zdorov kind of took a shot at in that interview. And that was kind of a weird thing because they had so much success under him that one season and then followed up by just, a big stinker of a year last year. They were kind of one of those teams that everyone was like, if things go right for them, they're going to be right back to form, but they do not look hot.
They don't.
It's just, I feel like there's a lot surrounding them in the media. Just there's questions with guys resigning. It's nice to not have these problems anymore.
Well, they're ahead of the Ducks in the standings, so they're not doing that bad. 2-4-1. That's not good.
It's not a high bar to clear.
It's not.
I mean,
if the Flames are going into the year and be like, hey, as long as we stay above the Ducks. I honestly
haven't really been paying attention to the rest of the league, so I don't know what's going on. I just know the the Sharks aren't the best.
No.
But I think the big takeaway in the thing with Zadorov was he said, obviously last year with Daryl, it was with Daryl, and everyone kind of zoned in on that being the problem. He goes, but the media's hard on tough coaches and hard on easy coaches. He's like, we can't have it both ways either. We can't not perform for a coach that isn't going to rag us like Daryl, but then also be like, oh well, but he was the problem. It takes some huge nuts to come out and pretty much throw your team under the bus, but also do it in a productive way of like, hey, like we need to turn this shit around.
Big old nuts.
So that sets up for this weekend's Heritage Classic to probably just be a mess because it's a Battle of Alberta game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of storylines surrounding both teams. Edmonton's goaltending hasn't been great. I mean, as much as I've always talked about how if the day ever came and Jack Campbell somehow became a Duck, I would defend that man to my grave, just because I love his story.
Yeah.
It's clear that he wasn't the option that they thought, and Holland kind of took a gamble on that. And I mean, even on the other side of things, Skinner hasn't looked great.
Yeah, he's been rough.
Ekholm doesn't look like he's really having a good time. Granted, he's coming back from surgery, so it's hard to really say that.
Who's Skinner? Principal Skinner?
No, Stuart.
Oh, okay.
When
you say last names, I don't know who the heck you're talking about most of the time.
I'm just gonna start sending you pictures of these guys, Lou, and see if you can name them.
Important to use both names.
I mean, the Oilers have kind of it's the same story in the goaltending situation. They always have horrible goaltending, or there's just so many question marks with goaltending. And it's kind of the same with the Flames. But yeah,
Markstrom also has like the Bobrovsky trajectory every year. Like he's unbeatable one year and then the next. It's just like, he can't stop anything. So, knowing how those outdoor games go, it's probably going to be like a 2-1 all the way to a shootout game where nothing happens.
Yeah. If you want to watch, it's Sunday. It's on TBS. You can also stream it on Max. If you didn't know already, pretty much all the games that are nationally televised on TNT and TBS will be on Max. So that's kind of cool. I'm trying to look at what time this game is at for us Pacific people. It's a 4 p.m. game. 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Were they playing this? Saskatchewan?
No, are they? They're playing in
I don't know.
I know it's like Commonwealth. It's like Commonwealth Stadium, some CFL stadium. I don't know who plays there. My apologies to the Canadian football people.
The Calgary, the Calgary football.
I want to say I think it's in Edmonton. I'm pretty sure. Commonwealth Stadium, is that where the Edmonton Elks play? I don't know.
Sure.
The Edmonton Elk?
Elks. They're called the Elks.
Like the
I didn't name them.
Yeah.
I didn't name them. Like
the things with the antlers and stuff.
That would be an elk, yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it sounds like a Canadian name.
Well, they're in the Canadian Football League, so. Yeah. But yeah, enjoy that game if you can. McDavid list.
To transition to teams that are actually on fire and players that are doing just incredibly well right now. It pains to say, but the Red Wings look legit. DeBrincat has been a huge addition to them.
Him and Larkin are killing it.
But let's talk about the Devils. Holy shit.
Jack Hughes is a dog.
I had Tyler Toffoli on my bench last night with a hat trick. It was a fun 6 points to lose out on in a.
Did you have him tonight?
I did.
Okay.
But in a stat specific league where we do categories, having those extra goals would have been nice. But
yeah, I mean, at least you got his 2 tonight. And they lost somehow to the Capitals. I mean, Jack Hughes had another 3 points. He's got 17 points now in 6 games.
Hey, we didn't do a fantasy league this year, did we?
No.
Oh. Well, shit.
There's
Yeah.
always next season.
Yep.
We
Yeah,
say 6 games in.
Yeah.
I'm already preoccupied with fantasy football. I can't keep up with hockey too.
How's your fantasy football team doing?
They're playing like shit.
Oh, okay.
I just about want to give up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
kind of sucks.
I didn't do football again this year. I was just like, you know what, we're just gonna focus on hockey.
Yeah.
And I drafted a good team too, and they're just playing like poo poo.
It's like the Raiders did against the Bears on Sunday.
Hey, shut up, you.
But yeah, Jack Hughes.
I mean,
Jack
the Devils,
Hughes.
outside of losing tonight, have looked very, very good. So
Yeah.
I can expect another
This
great
game
year out of them.
Yeah,
Why
this
do you have
game
to go
tonight.
there?
This game tonight against the Capitals was so weird. There's the only game on. It was on TNT after the crazy, frozen frenzy that was yesterday, where every team played. But
Did
it was
you
just a
watch
weird
that, by the
game.
way?
Watched what? The game
The
tonight?
Frozen Frenzy.
I did.
How was it?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I saw a lot of people said they got overwhelmed.
I was overwhelmed for sure, just because there was so much happening. And then the Ducks game was like right smack dab in the middle of
I didn't
it.
watch any of it. I just watched the Ducks game and then just watched
Well,
basketball.
it doesn't help
afterwards.
that the Ducks game got postponed too. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
technically
because
supposed to
Tifo
start
called in the
earlier.
electrical thing.
Yeah, so the Frozen Frenzy was pretty cool. I didn't watch it the whole time. I did have it up on an extra screen just to see, like, while the Ducks game was going, while there was like a commercial or stoppage in play, I would look down and kind of see what highlights they were showing and stuff like that. But from what I saw, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought they did a really good job. There really wasn't any like awkward transitions or anything like the NHL usually kind of gives us. There's always that weird kind of like just awkwardness to everything that they do. I thought it was planned very well. I thought Butchergross and Kevin Weeks did a really good job. I thought it's definitely going to return. I feel like, but I thought they knocked it out of the park for sure. But yeah, it was very overwhelming, at least for me. There was just so much going on. I had the first game was Leafs Capitals on ESPN, and then like the Sabres started like 45 minutes later. So I flipped that on. And then I was trying to follow the Leafs game and see what was going on. Then the Frozen Frenzy started, and then the Ducks started like 30 minutes after that. And it's just like, holy hell. And you're just trying to keep up with everything.
I have to allocate my time now somehow.
Yeah, because it was the first time that they were doing that, so I kind of wanted to, get a nice dose of it and see how it was. And there was just so much going on.
You said this is the only time they're doing it this season?
Yeah. Just because
kind of
felt
like it was a bad day to do it because you had NBA opening night and then Game 7 of the National League Champions Series.
Yeah, and I want to say, I mean, obviously the schedule comes out before,
and the play. Baseball, this baseball schedule you can't really do nothing about because
Well, let's be real, it's on brand for the NHL to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. And
I'm hoping that they can do this again, and it's like on a Friday night or like a Saturday.
Yeah, just do it on Saturday for Hockey Night in North America.
Yeah.
Instead of Hockey Night in Canada.
Because then at least the earlier starts would be a little bit easier too. Because like the first game.
Well, you could do like an 11 o'clock start on a Saturday.
Yeah,
and it's acceptable because it's a weekend instead of like, okay, so there's gonna be 1,000 people at the Canucks Preds game at 11 a.m.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
It seemed like it was overwhelmingly positive, but I could definitely see it being overwhelming, especially with like at least that like half an hour to 45-minute stagger, like not really kind of allocating you time to like still keep up with the game you're watching.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it props to them for trying stuff. I mean, we'll probably see more of it at some point, but for a test run, I mean, the fact that Butchergross was there the whole time and got through that whole night in one piece is impressive. Shout out Bucci.
Yep. Good stuff from ESPN. And that just I think ESPN has taken such a huge step. Like, I know the first year was kind of rocky, and a lot of hockey fans are kind of upset. And I saw a lot of people wanting NBC back, which shut up.
Yeah,
no, you don't.
Let's not do that.
No, we don't
need fucking Jeremy Roenick telling some random ass story and Patrick Sharp being a fucking wooden puppet up there, like.
And we don't need playoff games put on the Golf Channel.
Keith Jones back, even though Keith Jones is with the Flyers now. But
yeah,
we don't need him back. We don't need Mike Milbury back. We don't need none of that back.
We don't need playoff games getting pushed to the Golf Channel or getting bumped for horse racing or something. Like,
NBC's broadcast to me always felt very solemn, like you were like listening to people talk about a funeral. Like there was never excitement. It was just always just like. And so,
I mean, let's be honest.
TNT
is old NBC. I mean,
yes,
they pretty much took everyone.
Yeah, but
the same thing.
They definitely have brought a little more excitement, though.
There's more personality to it.
Yeah, there's more personality on TNT.
They did a really good job getting the panel for TNT. But yeah, just more proof with ESPN that, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say everything ESPN does with hockey is perfect, but you can tell the difference from year one of this 7-year contract to this year, which is year 3, and it's wonderful. Like, especially with what they were able to pull off for the Frozen Frenzy, I thought it was great. So, I mean, if they're already doing this well with year 3, I'm excited for, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's same goes with TNT. I feel like, they're doing just as well, if not even better. So, I think the league is in a good spot, TV wise. So.
We're getting more eyes on the sport, so that's all that matters.
Sure.
The NHL also came out with something cool, a little tool called NHL Edge now, so you can go in and look up player stats, and it kind of isolates their numbers for the year. I tested it out. I looked up Minchikov's stats, and it shows every area he's taken a shot so far this year.
Apparently,
and it breaks down kind of like top speeds, where they're taking shots from, the average, and the percentile that they kind of rank amongst other players. It's a cool little thing, but it's also still kind of rough. I know it reloaded on me like 3 times today, so I was kind of annoyed by it.
The folks in the Crash the Pond Discord kind of said that it's useless, though. Like it's cool, but it's kind of useless.
Very basic. I kind of feel like they have the right
I haven't
idea,
used it though.
But like for an NHL thing, it is very bare bones and just like, okay, it's baby's first like analytic program, I would say. Which is cool. I mean, the fact that they're even doing that and kind of having a tool like that certainly is going to bring more attention to stuff like that. It's going to make analytics a little, I wouldn't say a little more tolerable, but you're kind of broadening that audience now of like, okay, like if you don't understand it, this is like a very simplified version of it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, they're at least trying. I guess we'll completely shit on them now because, we didn't really mention this when it happened, but it is worth mentioning. They have rescinded their 2-week ban on the Pride tape, and what a fucking mess. For every good thing the NHL does, they shoot themselves in the foot and take 2 steps back because they just can't get out of their own way. It's annoying, regardless of how you feel about it. We're not here to say you have to agree with us by any means. Hey, that's your choice. But it's just it was a dumb decision. I know Anson Carter tonight on the broadcast said that his inclusion panel that he's a part of spoke with Bettman and Bill Daly and Marty Walsh and all of them and told them what a stupid idea it was and why they didn't agree with it. And he said, he made a point to say, Gary puts the game first. And that's great. We're never going to hear these conversations because there's a reason why the NHL always does this in private and always is very vague about this shit. I don't know. It's just like,
why'd you even put it in place in the first place?
To say, oh, it's a distraction. We don't want the players to to get flack for this, or we don't want it to be a distraction. It's a pretty big distraction when you point out that it's a distraction.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small little thing that affects nobody. It's fucking hockey tape. Like,
literally,
Travis Dermott is getting all the props in the world from everybody, and rightfully so, because he, put his neck out on the line. I do feel it was a little extreme for people to say he was expendable because he's on a 1-year deal with the Coyotes and all this. It's like, he's an NHL player, regardless of what contract he's on. He's in the show, and it's tough to say, oh, that guy's gonna get blackballed for it. But
yeah,
I mean, at the same time, it takes a lot.
I mean, he kind of could too,
Well, yeah, I mean, not to say that person's wrong, but I mean, in the context of it, at some point you knew the NHL was going to bend the knee, because so many people were outspoken about it. So many people were like, and not that anybody was named, of like, certain players that said, oh, I'm not going to listen to it. But when you have players coming out and saying, like, I'm still going to support the things I support, regardless if I wear it or not.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it just kind of kicks dirt in the NHL's face of just like, oh, well, we're trying to do this to not bring attention to you guys, but sorry, you got to answer to this now. Like,
yeah.
Again, it's just the fucking NHL getting in its own way. For all we want to say of, oh, well, Gary cares about the game and he just wants to put the game first. Just stop being fucking stupid. Like, it's not that hard. Like,
it's really not.
If you're gonna push that this game is for everybody, if you're gonna have initiatives of learn to play, or
it actually
those things
takes effort to be this dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for all the good faith you put into your communities of, we're trying to make hockey accessible to everybody. Doing shit like that, just it's frustrating, because it's like, at that point, it looks like you're doing it just so you get good PR. So you can say, oh, well, but we support the kids and the kids play. And
do you see what we posted on social media? Do you see?
Yeah. And a lot of the hypocrisy was pointed out of players posting pictures of the pride tape from just a season ago, and the NHL commenting on their posts. And it's just like, I get the climate of the world. This stuff's gonna happen, but it's like, you can't say that you're trying to prevent controversy and all these different talking points by creating a talking point. But
makes no sense.
We'll leave it at that. We don't have to get too much into it, but it's funny that it lasted 2 weeks. And of course, being the NHL, it's a very vague, oh, we fucked up, sorry guys, it won't happen again kind of thing. Like, it's not surprising, but it's still annoying.
Very much so. But yeah, I guess we can end it just by saying shout out to Travis Dermott, because he pretty much got all of this going. So love that for him. Love that he put himself out there to do that, and it's great to see.
Yeah. Lastly, before we get into questions here, we don't have to spend too much time on this, but from Chris Johnston today, it sounds like the decentralization of the draft is going to be a thing. There is not a date put on it, but he reported that in kind of preliminary talks, it seems like it's got a lot of positive favor right now, and teams really like the idea. So, it is something to look forward to. Patrick made a great point. If you're going to start doing this, it takes away the 20 minutes it takes the teams to get on stage. And personally, I mean, it is annoying. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. I think it takes away from the experience if you do away with it. But at the same time, I also think this streamlines the draft. And, like I was starting to say, Patrick made a great point of, it opens teams up more to do things surrounding the draft in their communities. So hopefully we see that. locally, whether it's something like Brewery X doing a watch party, or like if you open up the Honda Center and have everyone hang out in the arena and the team, announces the picks live, like that would be cool. But there's no timetable just yet, but it sounds like it's something that may happen here in the future.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I don't need to hear the owner and general manager thank everyone and their mother for being there, and I don't need to hear it.
It'll definitely get some of the old hockey heads saying that it's ruining the sanctity of the sport.
Yeah.
The good old boy auction is being ruined, but
like if you added the time for all the general managers who thank everybody, they'd probably be a good 20 minutes that is just wasted on that.
Yeah, a full period of hockey.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
No more. Streamline.
Well,
thank you.
We're pushing almost an hour 30 already. So
yeah, we should probably get to questions.
We'll fly to questions. And then, depending on how I lay out this episode, either this is at the end or this is right before we cut over to Billy. So keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
If you hear this at the end, you made it to the end. If not,
whatever Jake's feeling.
You're getting ready to listen to Billy. Either way, we're getting into some questions. So, as always, we will start with our Hockey 365 topic. And today it is on the topic of offsides, because there is one narrative that will always be present in present day hockey. It is always whether offsides is effective or not, or at least the review. So he asks, is it at all bizarre to you guys that the NHL has a blue line angle that they use for reviews, but teams aren't allowed to see? And the example he provided was from opening night. There was a play challenge for offsides and an angle that was used in the review that no one got to saw that influenced the call.
It is very weird. I don't understand what the point of that is. Like, I think the teams should be able to see it, if not the fans, at least the teams. So for no one, I don't know. Like, what are you doing? Like, if it's going to be there and it's available, you need to show it, and we need to see what the hell the call is and why you made that call.
Especially if it's integral to the game. Like,
yes,
you would think that, they wouldn't get in their own way, but my little rant a couple minutes ago didn't say it loud enough. The NHL likes making things hard on themselves. It is weird, but it's on brand. we can't sit back and say that it's weird that the NHL does this, but it certainly would make the process, I think, a lot easier. Teams are able to see that, but I don't know. I guess it's not meant to be. The NHL has to play Wizard of Oz here, and be the only ones that get to see.
I blame Toronto.
Yep. I saw a picture. Do you guys follow Chris Creamer on Twitter? He's like the logo
I
guy.
do. Yeah, I do.
Someone tweeted at him last night because there was a situation room play, I think, in the Boston. It was when they called back Bedard's goal last night. And one of the screens still had the old Ottawa Senators like logo from like 2017.
Really?
As like their logo for their game. And the guy's like, really? Like, they don't have an updated logo in the situation room? Like, how hard is it to just have someone like put that in? Like,
yeah,
it's simple. They've used that logo before. Like, it exists.
What the hell?
But I think that's just that epitomizes
yeah,
how inept the NHL is sometimes.
They sure have. I just pulled it up.
But yeah, look how long it took them for even just to switch the Ducks logo on a lot of things to just the D by itself, because they always use that script, the Ducks script logo. It was on everything for the longest time, even when like the primary logo was switched to just the web D by itself.
This picture it has the old Senators logo, but they updated the Bruins logo.
Well, and that was the thing that was pointed out was they have the right Bruins logo, but they can't be fucked to put the right Senators logo. Like come on.
What the heck?
Weirdos. Well, I don't think we had too many actual questions to ask. I know we had some that were specific to Billy. So you'll hear those in his portion of the episode. But we will start with Patrick because this is also on the topic of review. And he says, we can all agree the way offsides are handled sucks, right? He goes, what are your solutions to make them less tedious? Or do we just scrap them altogether? I feel like they should stay 100%, because there are a lot of really good teams in the NHL at spotting reviews. I know the Leafs have like a really good like recent record of reviews where like they're perfect. Like all of their challenges have been correct.
Yeah.
I would say showing the angle that we don't have would certainly make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it drags out, say it drags out past like 5 minutes, we get another comeback on Catella scenario where they sit for 5 minutes and discuss what had happened. You see every angle, you see Kessler get cross-checked 17 times into Talbot and, continue to be cross-checked on top of him, which is what happened. Let's all be real.
Yes.
Grow up. I feel like at some point, if the review has taken long enough, it's just whatever was called on the ice. Yeah. If you can't get it in 5 minutes or less, you stick with the call on the ice, because if it's going to be that inconclusive, why waste everyone's time?
Yeah, that would be interesting if they had like a challenge like clock. That'd be interesting. But yeah, like 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to figure this out. If not, then it's clearly inconclusive and we just move on. I would like that. That's actually kind of cool.
Agreed.
Because it does kill the game a lot, and it's just a lot of just sitting around. Everyone's waiting. The refs are just chilling there, and nothing's being done, and we're being shown like only one replay of it because we don't have the view that they have. So we're looking at the same thing, and
we're seeing the snack bar cam for some reason. We're seeing what the cash register sees.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that they have tried to limit the challenges, the offside challenges, by making that team get a penalty if they lose that challenge. I do like that rule. I like how they brought that. But yeah, I kind of like that. I would like something like that, like a clock, like a countdown. I think that'd be an interesting way to go about it.
Well, I think the big thing with me is like, if you don't have a definitive answer from like all eyes on the situation, like obviously the refs see something different than the situation room. It muddies that water, because then you're having the refs second guess themselves, like, oh, well, okay, did we miss this, or are what we're seeing correct? Like, because a lot is lost in the cameras. The cameras can only see so much. Again, this also could be fixed by maybe having more angles available. Obviously you can't just litter the boards just with cameras everywhere.
Instead of ads, it's cameras now.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like at that point it does a disservice to the teams, because you're killing momentum for either the team that scored. You're killing momentum for the team that scored, or you're just completely, fucking over the team that's issuing the challenge. Like, I don't know. I feel like we get one of those every season where it's just like the announcers are bored, the players are skating around waiting, the fans are cheering or booing, and just like nothing's happening. It's just like, get it over with already. Like, if you're gonna fuck us over.
Yeah.
Like, just make the break, just cut it clean, just be done with it.
Just hurt me already.
Exactly. Do you have any thoughts, Lou, or are you kind of on the same page, buddy?
I agree.
Well, do you agree with our pal Duck statement or question rather, of is Jack Hughes the best player in the NHL?
No, Pavel Minchkov.
He's
number 2 though.
Currently, Jack Hughes is. He's on fire.
I would say he is entering that top 10.
Oh man, he's on a
Remember
different.
when people thought he was a bust?
Yeah.
All because he
Or
was
was
a
that
small
was
little
that
guy.
Dingle Heischer?
I feel like both of them got that treatment.
Pretty sure both of them did. Yeah. But yeah, Jack Hughes is like on another planet right now. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's definitely one of the best.
He's pretty good.
On our last one, oh wait, no, I have Haley's, and then I didn't add Ryan's to the note, so I'll have to read Ryan's from Twitter. But Haley's, she said, if you were a teacher and realized you absolutely weren't prepared for the day and needed to distract your students in some way, what NHL player would you bring in and why to help distract your class?
Probably Troy Terry, because I feel like he would have his shit together. he would cook up something productive.
You feel like he'd have a lesson plan ready?
Yeah.
He just always has a lesson plan ready for when he needs
responsible to be enough to do that.
He does give off teacher vibes.
Yeah. I'll say Jeff Skinner.
Just do karaoke, play High School Musical.
I just feel like he's still a kid. Like for some reason, when I see him, I still see him as the guy that the Hurricanes drafted. Like I feel like he hasn't aged. So I still feel like he's like 18, 19 years old. And I don't know, just the vibes he gives off, especially with his goal song being like High School Musical and stuff. Like I don't know, I just feel like he would be what the kids would need. I feel like he could really kill some time.
I feel like TJ Oshie would be a good one, because he gives off like PE teacher vibes.
That's
so, like,
a good one.
You could always do like class outside.
Mm-hmm. TJ Oshie's a good one. Lou just was sure.
I don't know. Sure. I don't know.
Well, our last one, we have our squeak of the week from our good pal Ryan.
Squeak.
And this week, it's kind of a music themed one. I gotta say, Ryan's really good with these. This was a good one this week. Said, been on an Eagles kick. Said, Leo has been running down the road. Ducks trying to manage his game load. 7 draft picks on their minds. Take it easy. Said, ay Dios mio, what is the most tiresome sports argument / topic y'all are sick of?
Taylor Swift being at NFL games. Enough. Stop showing her, please. Enough. Stop it. Don't care. Show it on TMZ. Go away.
Show it on TMZ. TMZ does have a sports thing, so I guess they could do it on there, huh?
They could do it on there.
They probably
I'm trying to watch football. I don't care about Travis Kelce's love life. It has no bearing on my life whatsoever. Don't care. Please stop. Thank you.
I was honestly trying to think of a good answer for this, and I was having a hard time.
And I don't have anything against Taylor Swift. I just enough. Don't care about other people's relationships.
Yeah, Lou is putting his foot down on this.
I just don't care.
Lou has had it.
You got one, Jake?
I mean, the obvious one right now is the whole. I mean, we've seen it since the summer. The Carlson Fantilli buyer's remorse. Why didn't they draft him?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was annoying. If I had to say like any other sport, I'm kind of over the Astros or cheaters thing. I mean, it's still always fuck the Astros. Like, they're a division rival of the Angels. I mean, not that the Angels ever play meaningful baseball. I don't know. Like, those memes kind of ran its course. I kind of feel like that narrative just is over. Like, they proved that they could win without cheating last year, and they're just a good ball club. Like, I don't know. I still laugh at them when they lose, but the people that still hold a grudge all the way back to 2017 still kind of just like,
yeah,
it's over and done with. It happened. It's mainly from Yankee fans that I still see upset about that. So, I mean, it kind of, makes sense that they're hanging on to it because they hang on to championships they won, before half their fan base was alive. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are my two big ones right now.
I guess mine would be that everyone always complaining that the NHL draft lottery is rigged. That
It's
one's
not
kind
rigged.
of annoying.
They have video
every single
showing
year
you that it's not rigged.
I
agree that they should show it live. They should show them picking the ping pong balls live.
That wouldn't hurt.
Just so you could just rule out the it's rigged rumors, allegations out.
That feeling when you beat the it's rigged allegations.
Yeah, exactly. Show it live. And plus it would make for better TV.
Yeah.
Instead of just some dude with glasses flipping a card.
Holding the Ducks logo upside down.
Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, that's probably I guess that's my big one. Just be that draft lottery is rigged. And then I guess another one would be so many fans, especially I've seen this more often, or at least more I've seen it lately with Ducks fans, and the constant complaining that referees are always against our team. Or they're specifically against like Southern market teams. It's like, please stop. Like it's just like sometimes
I feel
it's just
like
too
that's
much.
something that's never going to go away though. Because everyone's like they're employed by the league and the league's based here, and that means that sadly that's going to be around.
Yeah, that's about it though.
Well, I mean, I think that's it. I think we covered all of our bases. Unless you want to fire off something before we take off, Lou.
Yeah. Shout out to the Texas Rangers, our Texas Rangers. Powered them through to the World Series. They got taken higher.
They were in fact taken higher.
I'm rooting for them. I mean, sorry, Chris. I won't be disappointed if Arizona wins, but
yeah,
Rangers have Creed on their side, and that means a lot to me.
I'm glad
and they have Bruce Bochy too.
You never struck me as a religious man, Lou.
Well, I want to be taken to a place with golden streams.
It's funny. I guess to end on that, Scott Stapp's always said that their music wasn't like religion based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's come out in interviews and said, "Yeah, I don't know where people got that opinion." It's like,
I mean, he's religious, but I mean, some of their songs, like "My Own Prison," that's a religious song.
Yeah, I mean, there's bands. I mean, Audio Slave had some songs that were kind of like tapped into faith, but I wouldn't they don't strike me as a religious band.
Not gonna lie though, I'm getting kind of tired of listening to Higher. Creed has other good songs you could play.
I'm just glad that we were able to post the video yesterday.
The Flying Bald Man.
Yeah, for the second time. We need more. Hopefully we get to post that more often this season. But
I hope they go back to the Thanksgiving halftime show and do another halftime show.
Do it for the culture. Strike the irons while they're hot.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I think they were at one of the Ranger games.
Were they
in the championship series? Yeah.
Nice.
I think they either threw out the first pitch or just like did a show before the game or something. I know they've had sing-alongs at their ballpark.
Yeah. I remember you sending one of those videos, I believe, to the group chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. We did release our first ever LAP Power Rankings. If you want to go check that out on our socials,
you tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, go tell us if we're really wrong and we're stupid, or if you agree.
I just told them my power rankings is whatever the top 10 teams are, because I have no idea what's going on with the rest of the league right now.
I won't go through the whole list, but I will say, because you can go check it out.
The Coyotes are on it.
We do have the Coyotes on there. We have the Coyotes. We have the Senators on there, and the Red Wings. We do not have the Oilers, which is weird. I thought the Oilers would be there, but
just say 1 through 10. I mean, it'll take 10 seconds.
All right, Lou, I'll do that for you. Okay, so all right, so we had the Golden Knights at 1, Avalanche at 2, Bruins at 3, Stars at 4, Wings at 5, Canucks 6, Senators 7, Rangers at 8, Maple Leafs at 9, and the Coyotes at 10. We're going to do a top 10 every week. Hopefully I can get in the habit of posting it on Mondays. That's usually when power rankings come out. So I kind of want to be on top of that and get our stuff in maybe Sunday night to ITR, and they can whip up the graphic for us. Shout out to ITR, Inside the Rink, Connor Green, for making this cool graphic for us. But yeah, those are our top 10 as of now. And I already, since we released this, want to switch up some teams because I think the Red Wings are already too low.
Yeah, that one, I would say that one didn't age very well because they've been playing a lot better.
Yeah. So next week the Wings will most likely make a nice little jump. But yeah, other than that, that is all for at least part 1.
Promo code LAP
of episode 59.
714 shift hockey lap 10. Go to Noble L Works.
And say LAP sent you. Later rival sent you.
Get you a beer.
And you know what? I won't keep everyone on their toes. We'll keep this before Billy. So just to keep it simple.
Okay. All right. So yeah, make sure you're following all of us here. Well, since we're gonna do Billy, right? We can just end it, and I'll do this at the end of the Billy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to do it here too.
We can just Let's throw it to Billy right now.
We'll just say goodbye for now.
Yeah, goodbye. Part 1 is done.
Say goodbyes later.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Well, welcome back, I guess. Night 2. I think the first time in a while we've had to do a 2-parter. But the spirits are high because I don't think we were very high on them winning last night when we talked, but
no.
And we get to mention that the Ducks won the game we thought they were going to lose, and we have a guest. Our 3rd time ever on LAP, so we're very happy to welcome Billy Zegras on. Thanks
Billy
for
Zegras
taking some time. This has been a long time coming. I think since like June we've been talking about this.
At least.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, it was a while ago. You guys reached out and Trevor still had to sign his contract, so I was like, yeah, the best look for me to go on the podcast yet.
And I mean, we totally understood because it definitely would be a little weird to be like, oh hey, a family member's on a Ducks podcast. Wonder what's going on here. The Ducks people on the credential side of things don't tend to care for that very much. So.
I mean, you really could have hopped on and pretended that you had all this insider info, though. You could have just rolled with it. You would have been on a bunch of Instagram pages, I'm sure, with some hot takes.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like the last thing I want, though. Yeah, there. I've got no desire to throw my name in any ring that I don't belong in. So, but yeah, it's great to be here, guys. I'm really, really appreciative for having me on, and excited to talk about UCLA hockey and whatever else comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can start there. You can tell the people a little bit about yourself. I saw Elite Prospects said Junior Ducks. Go Junior Ducks.
Yeah, that was Pee Wee Quebec actually. So it was only like 6 or 8 games when I was in Pee Wee's. And actually just moved to San Diego, and then with my Quebec year, so the Ducks had a bid, and I played on their team for that. But I still got the jersey. I actually have worn it to a few games at the Honda Center before. People are always like, "What the hell are you wearing?" Because it's a number 9 jersey with Zegras on the back. Like, where'd you get that? Like, why are you wearing Paul Korea's number? And I'm like, it's a long story. It's great. It's a great jersey though.
Like, hey man, I'm just trying to get a beer. I'm just trying to take a piss. I'm not going to explain this to you right now.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, me and my girlfriend have gone to a couple of games, and she wore the jersey once, and I went to take a piss, and she was in line getting us hot dogs and beer, and the guy was like, "Oh my god, like this is a sick jersey," and like ended up buying us our drinks and our food, which was great. So
nice.
My plan here henceforth, whenever I'm going to a Ducks game, I'm going to have either her or myself wear that jersey and see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I did a little research on good old elite prospects, prep school, and then UCLA. Tell us a little bit about the experience, kind of going up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised at the East Coast, Darien, Connecticut. Played for Fairfield, which is the same program that Trev played for. His father, my uncle, still runs it, but he was on that team with the O1s. It's like Spencer Knight, him, and a bunch of other guys who are now gone on to play D1 hockey or in the NHL. And so I played for them, the '99 team, until I was like a peewee. And then my family moved to San Diego, so I moved out to San Diego. Played for the junior Gulls for a couple of years. Then played for the junior Ducks in Peewee, Quebec, and moved back to the East Coast eventually. Went to boarding school, went to Berkshire, which was a great experience. And then, 3 years there, and college came around, and I got into UCLA, which was like crazy. I was like, hell yeah, like I'm gonna do this for sure. So I went to UCLA, and they had a club hockey team, and I played hockey since I could walk pretty much. So of course it was going to play club hockey there. And it was just a great experience to be able to play hockey in college, first of all, and then, play hockey at a place like UCLA where your life isn't really not really controlled by playing ice hockey, but you get the whole experience of college and going to a great school like that. But also you get to, in your free time, play meaningful hockey games, which is a really, really fun thing to do. So yeah, I played freshman year, sophomore year, and then junior year we had COVID, so didn't play that season. Then my senior year was a farewell tour, and it was just a really great time. And the team there it's in really good hands right now, and it was cool for me to be able to see where the team was my freshman year to where it is now. It's like night and day almost. I think a lot of that, looking at silver linings coming out of COVID, a lot of that was due to the time that we had not playing. We had a backlog of guys coming to the school who were really good recruits. We had time to fundraise. We had time to kind of sit down and review the operation side of the program, and I think it's really worked out for the program right now. I mean, they've gone to regionals, a couple of years back to back. They're undefeated this year, and just for comparison, my freshman year we didn't win a game until like late January or February.
Oh, geez.
And we struggled to fill the roster up, and like it was tough, and it's not like it was a lack of effort on anyone's part. It was just the program was in a completely different place. So to see the progression from when I was an 18-year-old freshman to where it is right now has been really cool to see. And I think it is really special to have that progress be made at such a large university like UCLA, and it's kind of promising to see where it could go from there. So just super proud of my time there, and really excited to see where the program can go.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing how much it's grown just over the last few years, just as like an outsider following it. Because I mean, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, so we have D1 here, ASU and everything, and I'm really hoping that Southern California or all of California can get D1 hockey soon. That's like the only level of hockey missing in California. So hopefully soon. Not really sure like how far away, like if that's even, is it close?
I think it's closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the debates that you see online about it kind of miss the point. And what it really comes down to is the effort being put in on the ground by guys who run these teams.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that's also helped out by just larger momentum, and the fact that like USC has a team and we have a team, right? And those are two of the biggest names in college athletics in general. And now we're going into the Big Ten. So that gives you nationwide just momentum from a name brand. aspect of it, and these teams just keep getting better year after year. The social media keeps getting better year after year. The alumni connections get better year after year, and it all kind of snowballs. And I think that the growth can be exponential for sure. I do think Division I college hockey is closer than a lot of people really realize, and I think when you saw ASU go D1, it happened, after a few years of really stellar results in the ACHA, going to national championships. I don't know which ones they won, or if they won any national championships as a club team, but the success they had at the club level then brought in alumni donations, and they had that one big donation that propelled them to the NCAA Division I status. So I think that's what a lot of schools are waiting for. It's just for someone to step in and make that first big commitment financially. Like you look at like Oregon and Washington and USC and UCLA and Berkeley and San Diego State, like these schools have those donors. They're out there. I think it's just a matter of continued momentum. The league's getting better. The hockey's getting better. People can travel more now. People are fundraising more, which is great. So they can travel around the country and play better teams. Better hockey players are going to these schools. Like, I think there's a lot of momentum, and I don't think it's that far off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing a lot more college players get drafted year in, year out. So, I mean, I think college hockey as a whole is kind of gaining a little more momentum. I mean, to your point of it just needing that steam to still kind of carry it to that next level out here. I mean, you look at what the club game is now for like the younger kids and going into those higher levels. Like, I've worked around hockey parents and hockey in general the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just, I mean, the commitment to it out here you wouldn't expect, because there's just so many sports you can play year round. And I mean, the parents that are really serious about it are really into it, and it's great to see that at that kind of like lowest level with like the younger kids coming up. Hockey's becoming a thing here. Like it's not just kind of you can play this in the summer, you can play this in the winter. Like, hockey's year round around here, and I don't think a lot of people see that, just because California is not the traditional hockey place.
Yeah, definitely. And I have like one of my best friends who's actually my roommate right now. We work together now. I met him when I moved to San Diego the first time. He played hockey growing up in California his entire life, and I know the community down there is it's small for sure compared to like the East Coast, but they're super passionate about it. And like in his situation, when he was a U16, like he was driving from San Diego, Rancho Bernardo, up to Anaheim to play for the Junior Ducks.
Jeez.
3-4 times a week for practices and games after school. So like, to your point, like, yeah, it's like the kids are just like incredibly dedicated to it, and it is a year-round thing. And I think the state of California also, if you look at the numbers, like the amount of kids they send to play Division I hockey, they're like one of the top 5, I think, easily states in terms of just pure numbers. So all the pieces are in place for Division I hockey to come out west. It's just a matter of I honestly think if University of Arizona does it pretty soon, which it looks like they are, and the dominoes just start falling. People are gonna be like, okay, we gotta get a D1 team now.
Yeah. And some of the names that have come through ASU hockey now, they got, they had Josh Doan, and they had Anita Meyer there, just some already like well-known hockey names. And I just think that's awesome. And I would love to see that in California very soon. And, maybe watch out Canada, California's taking a big step, maybe, I mean, hey, don't want to piss off Canadians, but maybe we will.
Yeah, and a lot of kids from California and like the West Coast in general go play in the WHL too when they get the chance. Yep. So yeah, I can see that that dynamic playing out over the next few years. That WHL versus West Coast college hockey would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Well, I think the question everybody probably asks you a lot, so we'll ask it early here. Is it tough having a family member in the NHL? I mean, we were talking about leaving and people seeing the Zegras jersey and buying you guys drinks and stuff, but what's that experience like, having Trevor being the personality is in the league? Like, what does that mean to you as a relative?
It's been I think first and foremost, just it's an incredible experience. And I know, like, obviously for him, it means something totally different than it means for me or my brothers, his cousins, etc. But just to be able to experience part of that has been unbelievable. And you take every success that he has really like to heart, and take every failure to heart. And I know for me, being like I played hockey my entire life, so it's just really special to see him play in the NHL. Like, it's a really hard feeling to play in the words. It's like Jesus, like this happens, every kid's dream to play in the NHL. Now he's so close to someone who does play in the NHL. Like, it's really cool. But the flip side of that coin is also like, he is like the face of the league. He's not the face of the league. That's an incorrect statement, but he is a very marketable player. Yeah, he gets a lot of airtime, for better or for worse. So that's something you just got to deal with. Like, just put emotions aside. Like, no, people are always going to say what they're going to say, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment. Like, and it doesn't really affect me or my personal life or him or his personal life. So, like, it's kind of like got to tune it out. But I think just, it's just such a special thing to see him, be able to watch him on TV every night. When he comes out to the East Coast, I live in New York, I live in Connecticut, but when he comes out to New York, plays Islanders and the Rangers, to be able to see him play in person, like, it's unreal, honestly. And just really happy that I think just that he's made it here at all is amazing. And whatever he does from here on going forward, it's just all incremental to the fact that, he didn't make it. And he's got a chance to be able to say, like, hey, I played in the NHL, and like, that's a real thing. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, we still can't believe he's on the Ducks, honestly. Like, a player like that, what he brings to the ice and his dynamic and just his creativity is crazy to have. Like, we're able to watch him on a nightly basis. That's just nuts.
Yeah, no, it was cool for me because I was in college when he got drafted. So, like, I was pretty close by. I could see a lot of his games, but like, I just know how much it also means to, like, like, my parents, my grandparents, his grandparents, his parents too, like, for everyone in our family to be able to see him, like, it's a big point of, like, pride. And I think his being in the NHL, like, extends well beyond him in terms of the pride people take in it, and how much it means. So it's just really cool, just the fact that he got there in the first place. Anything else he does, it's all just an add-on.
Yeah, it's more of a plus at the end of the day, because just to say he made it's the big part of it.
Yeah. I remember seeing a picture. I think that's when I first found out about you, Billy. I saw a picture floating around on Twitter, I think it was, of Trevor at one of your games. It was like after one of your games, and he took a picture with you, and I'm like, oh, there's another Zegras. Like, well, I didn't realize how many there were, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like, he was able to go see you play at UCLA.
Yeah, that was awesome. We played at Great Park. We played Cal State Fullerton, I think, at Great Park my senior year. I got him and Jamie to come out and watch the game because they were living together at the time. And that was actually in between, I think, the second and third periods.
Okay.
I remember looking up into the stands. People are starting to, like, realize I think he was in there watching. So I was like, go run out and get a picture with him. Like, this, and I wasn't even thinking, like, hey, I'm gonna get a picture because I want a picture with him. I was like, this is gonna be great for UCLA hockey social media. So,
yeah,
like,
there you go.
Stick around real quick. I'm gonna run out, get a picture with you in the jersey on. Like, that'll be good to go. And of course, we put it all over social media. And got the UCLA hockey team a lot of followers, so that was awesome.
There you go.
But yeah, there's a lot of Zegrases. I have four little brothers. Trevor has a little brother and a little sister. And then we have cousins. We have our father's little sister has two kids as well, or three kids, two sons and a daughter. So they're not Zegrases, but they're part of the family here. So there's a lot of us running around playing ice hockey.
It's funny that you brought that up, Chris, because two of my good friends that I play like beer league with got pictures with Trevor at that game because they were there watching one of our buddies that we play adult league with, because he's on Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, okay.
So I remember they were posting about it, and they were like, yeah, we just came to watch Benny play, and Trevor was here, so we were just trying to be respectful as possible, and he was cool enough to take a picture with us. Just like, holy shit, man, like that's a big deal,
Yeah.
It was I think Jamie was there, Drysdale, and I think he just kind of like snuck out. It was before people kind of realized who he was. Which is hilarious. But yeah, I love Jimbo.
The next thing I was going to ask, does Trevor being a Duck automatically make you guys Ducks fans as family? Or, we were talking a little bit about you're watching the Ranger game when we hopped on. Do you still keep, allegiances for other teams? Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is I know the internet always makes a weird point about like, oh, well, he was a fan of this team growing up, and does the family still support that? There was a weird conversation of, oh, why is Ty Domi wearing Habs stuff when Max was on the Habs? And it's like, that's his kid. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've all been Rangers fans our whole lives. I will always be a Rangers fan, but like, I think that it comes down to like the Rangers were playing the Ducks in the Stanley Cup Finals, and Trevor was on the Ducks. I mean, we're in the Ducks jersey. We're for the Ducks to win. But yeah, like we're all just Rangers. Like we all grew up around here on the East Coast. Like we're Rangers through and through. But yeah, we always like I watch almost every Ducks game that I can when it's not too late. It's a great fan base. It's a great team to watch. Like I actually have a lot of fun watching the games. So I'm not mad about it by any means. And the great thing too is the Rangers and the Ducks never overlap. So it's really not like a conflict of interest in any way.
Yeah. It'd be different if he was playing on the East Coast and you're having to root against the Rangers because he's playing against the Rangers on, say he was like a Devil or, a team like that,
or an Islander.
Yeah, something like the Flyers, the Islanders, the Devils, and like I wouldn't have an answer for you. I have to do some soul searching, honestly, but it'd be a much different situation.
So you're all Rangers, huh? Like no one in there is an Islanders fan. No one. That's crazy.
My brother Robert, I think he's a bit of a Kings fan. But I always make fun of him. I think he's a bandwagoner because when we moved to California, when they won the Cup in 2012, when they beat the Rangers in the Cup.
Ah, geez.
Actually, I have a personal issue with that. The fact that he's kind of a Kings fan, but I think he's kind of full circle to the Rangers, which is good.
Okay.
But there was a weird period of time when he was cheering for the Kings, and I was like, dude, like this is not good for you.
That's pretty ugly.
Just like where did this come from? This isn't you.
Well, so go ahead. Okay, I was just gonna say like UCLA. Where do they play now? I know that it's called like the Cube.
Yeah, that's up in Santa Clarita.
Okay. I was just wondering because I've always thought it was weird that USC plays at like Anaheim Ice.
Yeah, they play 45 minutes south. We play 45 minutes north. There's just a dynamic of the availability of ice in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
Honestly, and funding for the club, ice time, it's expensive. You try to find the best situation for your team. And we're pretty lucky that we found the Cube. It's a straight shot up to 405 for the team, which is nice. It's a little bit of a haul, especially if we have a game at like 5 p.m. Like, of course, there's gonna be traffic, but the great facility. They have a great sheet of ice there. They have two sheets of ice, but the one that we play on, like it's well maintained. There's a locker room there, and the community is incredibly supportive. Like the town, the city, and there's a ton of UCLA alumni who live up in the valley.
Nice.
So, it's a really good situation for us, and couldn't be happier that we got to move up there. So, but yeah, it's just a product of the fact that ice time is crazy expensive in Los Angeles. Ranks are very hard to come by.
Yeah, those $600 for an hour slots are pretty brutal. I mean, I know working at Yorba Linda, our fee was always a little less because the quality of the ice. But still, like that $500-$600 range for an hour is just brutal. But that's just, again, it goes back to the fact that it's such a thing nowadays that ice is so hard to get with all the club hockey that happens. Just, they have to price it that way because it turns away people from taking up those, those precious ice slots.
I don't know how USC does it or like LMU does it, but we only practice at UCLA once a week. And some weeks we practice twice a week if we have, depending on the schedule of the games that weekend. But because ice is so expensive, like if you play hockey at a school out east, you can practice 4 times a week for what it costs for us to practice 1 time a week. So it's a big limiting factor, and I hope that one day that price does come down and makes it a little more affordable, or the opposite happens and we can put more money towards ice time. But just restricted by the budget for sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can switch gears here a little bit. You got to represent Team Greece, play in the Latam Cup. I think is how they pronounce. Is that how they pronounce it, or is it Latam?
Latam.
I honestly didn't know that was a thing. I've seen it in passing, I saw pictures and stuff from when I was looking it up. What was that experience like?
It was good. I actually didn't know it was a thing either until like April of this year. But I don't know if you guys know. So it was a great experience. It was awesome. I had a great time. It was in Fort Lauderdale, and my parents and my little brothers now live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. So I went to go home for a week, pretty much, and take a little vacation. But I don't know if you guys know that account on Instagram, Puck Empire.
Yeah, he was on your team.
So his name is Panos. He's very Greek. He's very integral in the organization, execution of that whole event for Team Greece. He reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, you're Greek, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like half Greek." It's like, "You want to play for the heritage team?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, sign me up." So I feel like an imposter almost, because a lot of the team were incredibly Greek, like spoke Greek, had tattoos with Greek on them. I've been to Greece before, which is something I haven't done either. So I'm kind of like a fraud Greek almost, but the Greek blood, I have half Greek blood, so I qualified for the team, and we went down there and couldn't ask for a greater group of guys. Like, we bonded very quickly. We got to play some really cool teams. Like, we played Lebanon, Mexico, Argentina, one other team that's probably gonna slip my mind. No, that's just only 3 teams that we played, but it was amazing. And the crowds were awesome, and the level of competition was actually pretty intense. So I'm glad that over the summer I tried to work out a little bit more and skate a little bit more, because I work a full-time job now, so it's not training to play hockey. But it was a great experience. We made it to the finals, and we unfortunately lost in overtime, and 3-on-3 overtime, which was a little bit of a heartbreaker to our team, Argentina. But overall, just an incredible experience. I hope I get to do it again next year. I'm super down for it.
Yeah, the fact that the communities are starting to do stuff like that. I know we have a team that comes from Mexico every year. I don't know if it's the Firecracker or what tournament they come out for, but those guys that work at Monkey Sports, so they come in and they just drop so much money every time they're there. But they're the coolest guys. They're like, we load up. Some of the guys bring their families, and it's cool to see that. Not only in terms of that tournament, the Panthers were supporting it, and it was at their rink and stuff. I think that's kind of a sign that it's cool we're doing games overseas and stuff, going to Sweden, going to Prague, going to Australia every year. We got to start doing stuff in South America, just because the game down there, may not be at the level that it is around here in the States, and other places, but the whole world plays hockey in some capacity. And, the Latin American countries and stuff have some killer teams. Like, those guys from Mexico come up and they've won the tournaments up here a couple times. And they're when they come to these tournaments, they're known as the defending champs every time. Teams take watch.
The tournament was, the atmosphere was incredible. And not only so we were in the top division, so it was just us, Argentina, Mexico, and Lebanon. The first thing I gotta say, when we played Mexico in the tournament, they had a mariachi band in the crowd.
Really?
That's a hockey first for me, playing hockey in front of a mariachi band. That was
That's sick.
awesome. But there was the D1 level, the D2 level, and then like a U20, a U18, a U16, a U14, a U12, and then like women's divisions for all of them too.
Mhm.
And there was like, it wasn't just like Mexico, Argentina, Lebanon, and Greece. There was also like, there was Egypt was there, Brazil was there, Puerto Rico was there, Colombia had a team, Brazil had, or say Brazil, I don't know. I'm going to forget countries, but there were so many teams there that were fielding across multiple divisions and so many fans there. Like it was eye-opening for me because I had no idea that the hockey, like, penetrated that far deep in South America and the people cared about it that much. And just to have it in South Florida too, like great on the Panthers to recognize that those communities are well represented in South Florida and have the tournament there and support it. So like, I completely agree. Like they got to get down to South America, do some games like Mexico City or something. Like there's an appetite for it for sure.
I know there's been some rumblings about a Mexico City game at some point because I know they want Austin Matthews part of it or something like that. But yeah, you said Brazil. Like I feel like Brazil has like an untapped market there I feel like there's a lot of hockey fans there that people don't realize, because even us as a podcast, we have met, or maybe not met, but we've talked to people on social media from Brazil, like so many, like there's a Ducks fan page from Brazil. There's like more than at least I thought. And I've learned a lot about it, like in the past 3 years. Like, I just feel like it's growing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had the most teams there for sure, like across all the divisions. But yeah, I mean, athletic country, they love their sports. It's not surprising at all.
Yeah.
I think when I was reading the thing, it said there was 21 countries represented, like in the whole tournament. I mean, it's crazy. Because like you said, like you wouldn't expect that, just the sheer amount of representation that would be there. But it's a positive sign that like if the NHL doesn't get in their way like they tend to do, they really have some avenues and some untapped potential there to really kind of bring more people to the sport. Because like Chris said, there's a Ducks fan page, like they're tweeting back and forth tonight with a Bruins fan page.
Yeah.
And it's like, not understanding Portuguese, like you don't understand like what's being said back and forth, but like at the same time, like the fact that there's these two pages interacting back and forth, tweeting about the game with each other, it's like, it's cool to see, because the game is thought of as just, it's Americans, Canadians, some Finns, some Russians, some Swedes, and that's your cast of characters. That's it.
Yeah.
But I think especially in an age now where it's like the game's at a point where it's at, you're gonna probably see more representation like that. Not to say we're gonna see some sleeper countries have kids go to the show one day, but it's possible. It very well could be a possibility down the line with these kinds of tournaments and these kinds of events. Like it's really cool to see.
Definitely. Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So unless you had anything else, Chris, I mean, we had a couple, I know we had a couple questions on Twitter yesterday, all kind of pertaining to poking a little fun at USC, and seems like you guys kind of have their number if we're reading these tweets right. Come from our pal Chad. I guess the first one I'll ask is his favorite memory of consistently hanging 10 goals against USC.
It's a good memory. I will say though, in fairness to USC, they had our number for a very long time. And it's only been recently, like the past 4 or 5 years, that we've turned it around. We play them every year in a series called the Crosstown Cup. So we play, like, when I was there, it was 5 games. I don't know if they revised that down to 3 now, but the winner of the 5-game series brought home the Crosstown Cup every year, and we lost it my first year. My sophomore year, we won it. I think we've retained it since. And actually, I'll go on record saying this now because I graduated. I'm pretty sure that I was the last one to have possession of the actual cup.
Nice.
I don't think we have it. I don't think we have a cup anymore. So yeah, hands up, that's on me probably. But it's a great rivalry.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely very intense. Both fan bases like to bring out students to the games via buses. We get fraternities to come, which is always a rowdy time. So the away games are definitely away games, and the home games are definitely home games. It's just a really great rivalry, and it does feel good to beat them every now and then. Especially it's just the hatred that runs so deep between the basketball and the football programs and the rest of the athletic competitions, to be able to like have a little bit of part of that yourself. It's a great feeling. So, but yeah, in fairness to them, they had our number for a very long time. If you look up like the Pac-8 Wikipedia, like you'll see that they've won the most Pac-8 championships out of the whole conference back when we were in that conference. But yeah, I think they're on the upswing now, though. I think they just had a few down years, and obviously COVID played a big factor in a lot of teams having great years. But they're on the upswing again too. So a good USC hockey program is nothing but good news for us as well. So it's good to see that.
So Chad also asked, he said, with UCLA moving to the Big Ten, should the future of UCLA hockey, my bad, go to D1 to play with the likes of Michigan or Minnesota?
Big question. I think one day I'd love to see that. That
would be so cool, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I'm really excited to see the football and basketball teams play. You know, I think those are going to be some really fun games to watch. And I think once we get a few years of those rivalries under the belt, the rest of the sports will probably follow suit, and then we'll be set up for a pretty long period of time where we have new rivalries, new competition, and new storylines going, and that will probably eventually work into, and it'll work its way in the hockey for sure, because the Big Ten is, I think, the biggest hockey conference in Division I. So
gotta be, yeah. It's either them or what's like the other one's like Hockey East. That's pretty big, right?
Yeah, Hockey East or the ECAC. But I would imagine too, like this is just me speculating. I have no idea, but if we join the Big Ten, like I imagine those schools are going to be pushing on some level. Like, hey, like you guys, USC, UCLA, like, come on, get it going, get a hockey team started. Like, it's a revenue generating sport. Join the ranks here. Let's get it done. Maybe it should make it one day. I don't know when that day would come, but hopefully it's not that far off in the future.
Do you? To kind of piggyback off that, do you think that there's like any way funding could maybe come with like maybe from the local NHL teams? Like, is that even has that been talked about? Do you know, or like, is that even a possibility for like the Ducks and Kings maybe to assist with USC and UCLA kind of making that jump?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. I think their focus more right now is on the ADHSHL and the LAKHSHL. I didn't need to work those acronyms, but their focus is on high school hockey, which I think is rightly so. Developing the game from a more younger age, and it just works its way upwards. And my little brothers played in Anaheim Ducks League when we were down in San Diego. Like they do a really, really good job supporting those programs and funding not only the jerseys, but the all-star games and the playoffs. And they've created a culture of high school hockey in Southern California, which is not a task. So I think that's more where their main priority is right now. But I think that's a winning strategy. So it should change anything. I think it'd be awesome if they did, one day support the college programs, but at the same time, the colleges, I think if I had to think about this from a business standpoint, the colleges have the money to do it themselves.
Yeah.
So, whereas a lot of high schools don't have that, that financial ability to do that. So it's where them stepping in makes more sense.
Yeah. The Ducks High School League how many teams do they have now? Do you know? Like last I knew, they had like 40.
Yeah, it's a
They had
lot. I don't know
yeah.
that number, but it's a lot.
There's a ton.
There's so many.
It's almost too many to keep up with.
Yeah, there's just so many divisions, and it's just crazy. But I love seeing how much it's grown over the years, and that's great to see.
There's some really good teams too. Like Rancho, like when I was in high school, and like the first few years of college, like Rancho Santa Margarita, like, they were like nationally pretty good. I think.
Yeah.
Like I think they won like the USA High School National Championship.
Them and Olu always are like the two big ones. Like when those kids come in, it's like, okay, yeah, like whatever you say.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great. I mean, I think it's a great investment on the Kings and Ducks part, and I hope they continue to do that. And they fund all the ranks too, so I think they've done more than their fair share of trying to develop, hockey. Maybe they could trade for some more superstars like McDavid or something, get the Gretzky 2.0 effect, but about it.
He'll be living in Newport when he's a Duck. Well, we'll finish off with a little two-parter here. Haley had two questions. Her first one was not specifically about UCLA, but what was the thing that stuck for you when it came to hockey? What made that passion for the game stick with you?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It's just a fun sport. Like, just so much fun playing hockey. It's infectious. And then nothing like still in my life that I do that brings me more joy and like is as therapeutic as getting on the ice and playing. So I've always just come back to it, and I think it's been instilled in me and our family for my grandfather, how my dad and my uncle on skates, and my aunt on skates when they were little kids. So it's been just a couple generations now, decades of us playing hockey and that being kind of a central focal point for us. So it's something that's like, it's just kind of grounding. It's grounding. It's fun. It takes your mind off things, and it's also a great exercise, which is I can appreciate way more now that I sit at a desk all day every day.
Well, and her second one, we know that you've told us you do a little coaching, but is there a passion maybe to coach or work for a team one day?
Yeah. I didn't think so at first, but last year and this year I started coaching split season hockey. So U16, U18 split season. Just kids who play for local high schools, prep schools, and before their season starts, they play for us in Fairfield. And I got the bug. I got the coaching bug. I've been way too invested in it, and like emotionally invested in the games, and like and worked up about it. So that's how I know that it's got me now. And I would love to just keep doing that. I don't know if I ever want to like pursue that as like an actual career. Like I'm pretty set in my current career, but coaching youth hockey is definitely something that I'll probably do for a very long time.
Hey, if it's a passion project, it's not the worst thing to do. As long as you're not trying to fight the 15-year-old refs out there.
One of my roommates is a referee, actually, so I try to like remember that every time. Like, imagine if it was my roommate Lucas. Imagine if it was Lucas out there. Like, I'm not gonna yell at Lucas. Like, I can't yell at these kids either.
It's a good way to think of it.
Well, like we said, we didn't want to keep you too long. We 100% appreciate you hopping on. We know this has been kind of hard to have a day land for all of us, but we're very happy and very thankful to have you on, man. We wish UCLA continued support. You definitely seem very involved still, and let's hope one day we are talking about UCLA in the spotlight.
This was awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
And go follow UCLA hockey on Twitter and Instagram, and they have a home game tomorrow.
We'll play the Buffs.
Against Colorado. It's Parents Weekend, so there you go.
It should be a really good game.
Yeah, so go check them out. One last thing, really quick. You can answer it really fast. How big did Trevor's head get when he was on the cover of the NHL game?
Actually, I have a longer answer to this question because I was actually involved in that process. I was a stand-in for the photo shoot. And I love to tell people this because it's like my claim to fame. But yeah, that was awesome. You definitely pumped the ego up a little bit. Being a cover band of a video game.
His commercial with Sarah Nurse and everything, like
it was again like the NHL thing. It was really cool to see, and we'll always have that. So can make fun of him for it, can give him props for it. It's a good bad thing. Ultimately, it was an awesome experience. And he definitely got a lot of perks from doing that too. So it all trickles down. It's like so I get some residuals from that. So I can't.
You reap some of the rewards for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man.
Again, man, thank you. We appreciate having you on. It was a pleasure. Maybe we check back in soon. See how things are going. It's great having you on, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. And happy to come back on whenever. This is awesome.
All right. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
We'll stay on a couple minutes here. Thank you guys for hanging out for a second night. This is gonna be a little bit of a long episode. I don't think we plugged our stuff last night, Chris. So you want to plug it real fast and then we'll take off?
Yeah, really quick. Yep. Just make sure you're following Later Rivals Pod everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Any social media, really, just Later Rivals Pod, no spaces. You can find us everywhere. Go check us out on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel as well. If wherever you're listening to this, if you'd like to leave us a rating and review, we appreciate that very much. On our social medias, you can check out our link tree and find some merch and pretty much find us everywhere. So be sure to do that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, man.
All right.
We'll see you all next week.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time.